again, another W. Last night, again, the Vegas Golden Knights for the score 4-1. Huge W for your Bulletin Rouge, le tricolore, par le score of 4-1. Today, we talk about big news also for one specific player with the Montreal Canadiens. A preview game for today. Again, the Colorado Avalanche. Game start at 3 o'clock. First of all, let's talking about the big news. But they gave an extension contract to Mike Matheson, a 5 years deal at $6 million AAV. And this is what we expect from Canucks to Mike Matheson. Mike Matheson, the defenseman, the most consistency defenseman this year with the Montreal Canadiens. And the last 3 years, Matheson played a ton of minutes, power play, PK, a leader inside the locker room, a player with experience, bring many great assets for the Montreal Canadiens, for a young team like the Montreal. This is a great news for the Montreal Canadiens fans to know now. Mike Matheson is going to be with the Montreal Canadiens for the next 5 years for only an AAV of $6 million. Great job for Canucks, the general manager. That said, one thing we have to pay attention, guys, is the game last night. Again, the Golden Knights, guys. What a game. What a performance for the Montreal Canadiens yesterday by a score of 4-1 against the Vegas Golden Knights. And it was a solid game from the entire team yesterday against the Vegas Golden Knights. Samuel Montembeault, it was the Samuel Montembeault we saw last season. Great game for Montembeault, with a save percentage over 960. Montembeault gave the chance for the Montreal to win this game, make a big save at the first period. One after only 10 minutes, the shot was 9 versus 1 whatsoever. We have a big power play for the Vegas Golden Knights, 5 shots. They was in the zone for 1 minute and 53 seconds. Unbelievable. And Montembeault was square, no rebound. It was his best game of the season with the Montreal Canadiens. Now, the first line, again, with Budzik, they produce 2 points each for Budzik, Caulfield. And then also, Juraj Slavkovsky have an amazing, great game yesterday with the Montreal Canadiens, get also 2 points. The full first line, Budzik, Suzuki, and Caulfield, plus 5 total together. It was the first game of Alexandre Tessier with the Montreal Canadiens, played with Evans and Anderson. Good performance overall by Tessier. Got his first point, by the way, with the Montreal Canadiens. And finally, the two-player was held to scratch yesterday. It was the two-player for the Laval Rocket, Adam Ekstrom and Jared Davidson. They was not there. Martin St-Louis talk after the game, a mature game overall for the Montreal Canadiens. He did not like the first 10 minutes of the game, and we know that. 9 shots versus 1. But he was really proud of this team at the third period after they take the lead 2-0. Huge goal at the beginning of the third period by Jake Evans. And then Montreal played and shut down the Vegas Golden Knights until to the end of this game. And Martin St-Louis qualified that third period as a mature. And he talked about a big team in NHL had those kind of maturity, and that's the way he feel about his team yesterday against Vegas Golden Knights. This is a second game on the road. Montreal win. This is a straight 3-game win by Montreal Canadiens, and now they're going to face tomorrow the best team in NHL, Colorado and Denver. We're going to do the play-by-play for that game. Remember, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Now it's time to talk about the stood out, the obscure, the at the office, a turning point. The stood out, guys, is Samuel Montembeault. This was his best game of the year. Montembeault was excellent between the pipe for Montreal finale. And we saw the same Montembeault he did last year. And Montembeault delivered a great performance for the Montreal Canadiens against the Vegas Golden Knights. My obscure have a few of them. If you go with point, I believe Slavkovsky is my obscure. 2 points yesterday, but the pass he did on the first goal of the game to Budzik on the back door was great for Slavkovsky. And he scored an empty net for the Montreal Canadiens. At the end of the day, great performance for Slavkovsky. The other office, 0. Nobody. We need to celebrate Thanksgiving. No time to put anybody at the office. The turning point, guys, I'll be honest with you, you have a few of them in this game. First, we have to mention the first goal of the game. During the first period, Montreal, they was defend a lot. And after they killed the power play of the Vegas Golden Knights, Montreal stepped up the game. There was the first chance of momentum, and then the goal at the end of the first period gave the lead 1-0, helped the Montreal Canadiens, and we can also qualify the third goal of the game at the beginning of the third period. I think at that moment, cut the legs of the Vegas Golden Knights, and that's the reason Montreal won yesterday by the score 4-1. They are my stood out, my obscure, and at the office for the Montreal Canadiens, and the turning point. Now, Montreal return on the ice today at 3 o'clock against Colorado Avalanche. Colorado at one only loss in regular time. Last night, they lost in overtime against the Minnesota Wild. They have 6 game loss in overtime. Now, Colorado traveled back home. Montreal traveled to Denver. That said, you can see a Colorado Avalanche hungry to play against a Montreal Canadiens. And Montreal Canadiens are going to try to survive against the Colorado Avalanche. Many fans don't expect too much about Montreal, but Montreal have a great trip. They have 2W, 4 points. Whatsoever they lose against Colorado, this is a great trip for Montreal. And they are now second in the Atlantic Division with that W. So a lot of positive the last couple of games for the Montreal Canadiens. And start with what? Performance of the goaltender. That's it. Tobej was excellent. Make the big save at the right time. Last game, guys, Tobej at the third period gave a chance for Montreal to win, and they win. Yesterday was all Montembeault. First period, Montembeault was great between the pipe, and that's the reason they win. So goaltending situation is the reason Montreal won the last 3 games, and that's a good news for the Montreal Canadiens fans. That's it. That's all we got today, guys. Now it's your turn to leave me a comment. What do you think about the contract of Mike Matheson, the performance of Montreal Canadiens in Vegas, and what your expectation against Colorado this afternoon, 3 o'clock p.m. Of course, don't forget, please, to subscribe, click on the like, and become a member of the channel or my Patreon. This is the place you want to hear more every day about the Montreal Canadiens. We are live every single day. Until the next time, mes amis, of course, you have greatness inside of you, and we wish you an amazing, great, blessing day, everybody.